somebody has written, you can tell by seeing. Okay. So this chapter, we saw that this is the summary of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna has summarized the Bhagavad Gita in this chapter. Whatever he has spoken, conclusions he has given here. So that's why this chapter is not telling anything new, completely new point. But some details are there with some deeper understanding. But conclusions are same, whatever Krishna has told previously. And that's why it is a summary. And this chapter begins with the question of Arjuna. And this question of Arjuna is not depending on the previous context. So Arjuna's question is in general. So actually, we saw that after Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, so our acharyas, they have told that after Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna has revealed his understanding. So he has spoken verses Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. So from this, our acharyas, they are telling that Arjuna already knows. So Arjuna's illusion is completely removed in the 10th chapter only. So after that, whatever he is asking, so something new terms like he has asked in the 13th chapter, general terms he has asked. And so such kind of question Arjuna is asking. And now particularly this first question of 18th chapter, our acharyas, they are telling that the question which Arjuna is asking here, we'll see what is question, Arjuna's question. So the question he is going to ask in this first verse of this chapter is not because of his, he wants to know something and his illusion is already removed. Then we may have question that why he is asking question. Then our acharyas, they tell that he is asking question for other audience, for other people, those who are going to study Bhagavad Gita, those who are going to hear Bhagavad Gita. For them, Arjuna is asking this question. So this is the reason Arjuna is asking the question. And now we will begin what is Arjuna's question. And as the chapter suggests, conclusion. So Krishna has given summary in this chapter. This is also one of the longest chapter in Bhagavad Gita, which has 78 verses. Okay. So now we'll see one by one. First, we'll see what is Arjuna's question. Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichchami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesha prathakkeshi nishudana. What is the meaning? Arjuna said, O mighty Hanuman, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation. The purpose of renunciation means tyaga, and the renounced order of life means sannyas. O killer of Keshi demon, master of the senses. So 2 times Arjuna has called Krishna by 2 different words, Keshi Nishudana and Rishikesha. That's why master of senses is Rishikesh and Keshi Nishudana, killer of the Keshi demon. Now what is the Arjuna's question here is that first he is asking 2 things he wants to understand. The purpose of renunciation. So for that he has used the word Veditum. He wanted to know. Ichchami, he has desire. And sannyasasya, so of renunciation. So what is the tattva of renunciation? And what is the purpose of renunciation? What is the renounced order of life, sannyas, and purpose of renunciation? And these two things Arjuna wanted to know. Arjuna's question. Understood? Then, in short, why Arjuna is asking such kind of question? That he has what is going on in Arjuna's mind. So Arjuna, in short, his basic question is same only: should I fight or not fight? So how we can say his basic question is should I fight or not fight? And so he wants to decide that based on the Krishna's words. So he is asking Krishna, so what exactly is sannyas? And what is the tyaga? So what is the purpose of renunciation and renounced order of life? And so based on the answer, he wants to decide and he should fight or he should not fight. So that decision Arjuna wanted to take based on the answer. So he wanted to understand, so what is sannyas? So Arjuna understood that taking sannyas immaturely is not good. So he wants to again confirm his understanding. And so what exactly is sannyas? Because earlier that thought came in his mind by seeing his relative, and we have studied in first chapter what are the causes, and he such thought came in his mind. So Arjuna still want to resolve that thought. So that's why he's asking such kind of questions. This is about Arjuna's question. So what Prabhupada is telling, somebody can read.
Actually, the Bhagavad Gita is finished in the 17th chapter. The 18th chapter is the supplementary summarization of the topics discussed before. In every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna stresses that devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. This same point is summarized in the 18th chapter as the most confidential path of knowledge. In the first six chapters, stress was given to devotional service, yoginam api sarvesham. Of all the yogis or transcendentalists, one who always thinks of me within himself is the best. In the next six chapters, pure devotional service and its nature and activity were discussed. And in the third six chapters, knowledge, renunciation, and activities of the material nature and transcendental nature and devotional service were described. It was concluded that all acts should be performed in conjunction with the Supreme Lord, represented by the words Om Tat Sat, which indicate Vishnu, the Supreme Person. The third part of Bhagavad Gita has shown that devotional service and nothing else is the ultimate purpose of life. This has been established by citing past acharyas and the Brahma Sutra, the Vedanta Sutra. Certain impersonalists consider themselves to have a monopoly on the knowledge of Vedanta Sutra, but actually, the Vedanta Sutra is meant for understanding devotional service. For the Lord Himself is the composer of the Vedanta Sutra and He is its knower. That is described in the 15th chapter. In every scripture, every Veda, devotional service is the objective. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you. I will just summarize what is discussed in this paragraph. That Prabhupada begins with he tells that devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. And so that is emphasis in every chapter. He Prabhupada tells. And then after that, he explains there are sections, and section wise, this topic is taught. Which topic? Devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. He tells that first six chapters, Yoginam Api Sarvesham is the concluding verse of first six chapters. what that verse teaches is the bhakti yoga is the best process and devotional service is the ultimate goal. Then middle 6 chapters, they directly speak about pure devotional service, its nature and activity. So that's why he then summarizes the middle 6 chapters. Then last 6 chapters, he tells that what they recommend and what they establish uh, that he tell. So what last 6 chapters they recommend is that all acts are perform whatever acts we perform in the three modes, and if we want to convert and that activities unto the uh, supreme person, then what we have to chant Om Tat Sat, and that is the recommendation. There are three modes, they are binding us, and coming out of that is the required by devotional service. We can come out of that, and if we are not on that level that we are going to practice devotional service, then we can begin with chanting Om Tat Sat. And Krishna has mentioned this in 17th chapter. We saw that. Then 13 to 17 chapter, again they are establishes the devotional service and on the authority of Vedanta Sutra, like this Prabhupada is saying. And Vedanta Sutra, conclusion of Vedanta Sutra is mentioned in 15th chapter, that devotional service is the conclusion of Vedanta Sutra that we have studied. Then chapter 18, Prabhupada tells that this will also summarize the same point, and a devotional service as the most confidential knowledge. So these are points Prabhupada has mentioned. So begin, then somebody can read green one.
As in the second chapter, a synopsis of the whole subject matter was described. In the 18th chapter, also the summary of all instruction is given. The purpose of life is indicated to be renunciation and attainment of the transcendental position above the three material modes of nature. Arjuna wants to clarify the two distinct subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, namely renunciation, Tyaga, and the renounced order of life, Sannyasa. Thus, he is asking the meaning of these two words. Two words used in this verse to address the Supreme Lord, Rishikesha and Keshi Nishudhana, are significant. Rishikesha is Krishna, the master of all senses, who can always help us attain mental serenity. Arjuna requests him to summarize everything in such a way that he can remain equipoised. Yet he has some doubts, and doubts are always compared to demons. He therefore addresses Krishna as Keshi Nishudhana. Keshi was a most formidable demon who was killed by the Lord. Now Arjuna is expecting Krishna to kill the demon of doubt.
Thank you. So, this also will summarize. Right. So now Prabhupada began with the second chapter, and what now he's comparing the in second chapter, what is there, a synopsis of the whole subject matter and summary of the what Krishna is going to speak, that he has spoken before, and after speaking, now what he has spoken, he is speaking in 18th chapter. Okay? So that point Prabhupada is telling. And similarly, second chapter and 18th chapter. So what they are giving? They are giving the summary. And what is there? Renunciation and attainment of transcendental position above the three modes. Renunciation and attainment of the transcendental position above the three modes of material nature, and that is the purpose of life. They in chapter 2 it is mentioned. A transcendental position means we have to raise ourselves and beyond the three modes in the transcendental position. Then automatically will be out of the three modes, and with renunciation, practice of renunciation. So that is the purpose of life, and it is mentioned in 2nd and 18th chapter. Prabhupada is telling. Then meaning of Rishikesh is telling, master of senses, and one who helps to attain mental serenity. And so that is also meaning of Rishikesh. And Rishikesh is Krishna, the master of all senses, who can always help us attain mental serenity. And so he makes our senses peaceful, especially the mind. Arjuna uses this name Rishikesh, and why? Because he wants to know everything clearly so that he can be equipoised. So he wants to know clearly whether he should fight or not fight. So that's why Prabhupada is telling he has used the word Rishikesha, and he wants to be equipoised. Then about the word Keshi Nishudana. So why he is using the word Keshi Nishudana? Because this Krishna, as he has killed the demon Keshi. So similarly, he is expecting that Krishna should kill the doubt in his mind. So that is Arjuna's mindset. So that Prabhupada has mentioned. Now, regarding this Tyaga and renunciation, and purpose of renunciation and renunciation itself, and that Arjuna's question, renounced order of life and purpose of renunciation. So Acharyas, they have explaining some points on this, and they are telling that Krishna has mentioned in 5th chapter, verse number 13, and Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyate sukham vashi. Means what a sannyasi, sannyas means what? Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyate sukham vashi. So this sannyasi, he gives up, sannyas means what? He gives up all work. Sarva karmani, all works he gives, that is sannyas. And tyaga means what? That tyaktva karma phala sangam. Tyaga means what? The person just gives the fruit of activity, and that is tyaga. So this is the difference between tyag and sannyas. Acharyas they are telling. And Arjuna is asking between this. So Arjuna's question is, are these two words completely different? Like the word trees and stones, and like there is no connection between trees and stones. And so Arjuna is asking, is there any connection between the two words or not? And they are connected in any way or not? If they are different, and then I want to know their different natures. And if they are same, and then I want to know from you, are they same? And so this is the question. And so now from this Acharya's description, now it will be clear to us, and what is karma, what is sannyas and what is tyaga. So sannyas means what? Giving up the work completely. Work. And tyaga means giving fruits of work. Okay. Are they same or different? And this is Arjuna's question. Clear? Then Krishna started giving answer from the second verse. So Krishna starts speaking. He tells Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmana Nyasam Sanyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshana. So Krishna is telling the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life. And giving up the result of all activities is what the wise call renunciation. So Krishna has given the same answer to which Acharyas have mentioned in previous verse purport only. So Tyaga means what Krishna has mentioned, giving the fruits of, means results of all activities, and is what the wise call renunciation. And Krishna has not given his opinion, he is quoting authority. And so wise, so he has used the word for wise is that Prabhupada has translated, I think, experienced, and why vichakshana. So in translation, Prabhupada has written wise, experienced person, call this as tyaga. And learned people, or learned what ones can kavayaha. So this kavi and learned people, what they call, they gives the definition of sannyas. They call that sannyas means giving up activities that are based on material desire. So real meaning of sannyas is not giving up all work, but work for our sense gratification, which is based on our desire to enjoy, material desires, desire to enjoy, and kama, desire to enjoy separately from Krishna, and kama. This is Krishna has quoted now authorities. Before speaking his answer, he's quoting authority. Somebody can read what Prabhupada opinion.
The performance of activities from results has to be given up. This is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. But activities leading to advanced spiritual knowledge are not to be given up. This will be made clear in the next verse. In the Vedic literature, there are many prescriptions of methods for performing sacrifice for some particular purpose. There are certain sacrifices to perform to attain a good son or to attain elevations to the higher planets. But sacrifices prompted by desire should be stopped. However, sacrifice for the purification of one's heart or for advancement in the spiritual science should not be given up. Hare Krishna.
Simple thing he's telling that Tyaga and sannyasis. And Tyaga means what? To renounce the result of activity. And sannyas means what? To renounce the activities that are based on material desire. So he has given example. Which are the activities? They are based on material desires. Certain sacrifices to attain a good sun, to attain elevation to higher planets, for elevating us to Swarga. But sacrifices prompted by desire should be stopped. This kind of sacrifices should be given up. And which kind of work is not given up? And the work which is meant for advancement in spiritual science. So that is the meaning of sannyas. So sannyas means not giving up completely the work. And now this is the opinion of whom? And the vichakshana, the experienced persons, and the learned person. And this is not Krishna's opinion. And Krishna had just quoted them. So clear this translation and purport. So now in acharyas, they are mentioning again that tyaga means that one should give up the result of all activities and uh, in performance of action with personal desire, or in performance of obligatory actions, rather than to give up those activity completely. And tyaga means what? Giving up the result of activities in performance of action with personal desire. So whatever, even though he does the this yajna for a good son, for attaining elevation, but the fruit of that sacrifice he gives to the supreme, to the absolute truth. Then what happens? That is tyaga. He will not use for himself. He has done this kamya karma, but result of this kamya karma he will offer to the supreme and absolute truth. So that is the tyaga. And in tyaga, he doesn't give up the activity completely, but results of the activity. So in tyaga, what happens? Person does the all desired activities, and kamya karma also, and nitya karma also. And in sannyas, what happens? One does only nitya karma. And who knows this? Kavi kavayah. So they know this difference between the tyaga and karma. Okay. So this point only Acharya highlights. So sannyas means giving up kamya karma completely, and to give up the results of nitya karma. And sannyas means sannyasi does the nitya karma. And so activities that nitya karma Prabhupada has translated, activities for purifying one's heart and advancing in spiritual life. And that sannyasi doesn't give up. And but sannyasi gives up the result of that activity and for the supreme. Okay. So now Krishna is quoting another authorities, and he has quoted some authorities in verse 2nd. So again he is quoting authority in verse 3 also. He is telling त्याज्यम दोषवत् इत्तेखे कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदान तपः कर्म न त्याज्यम iti chapare. What is telling? Some learned men declare that all kinds, he's quoting authorities, some learned men, that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. And so some people, some learned people, they say that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up. Yet other sages maintain the acts of sacrifices, charity, and penance should be never be abandoned. And again, he's telling that some devotees, some learned men, and they are telling that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up. Like sannyasi, he has given up and all kinds of fruitive activities. Similarly, other sages, they maintain the acts of sacrifice, charity, penance should be abundant. And so karma, and tapa, and dana should not be given up. Why should not be given up? Because they help in purification of heart. So that's why some people, and they say that it should not be given up. Okay. So in one sense, whatever he has said in the verse 2, that only he has given said in different words. Like first he has said in verse 2 that the sannyasis, so sannyasis, so they give up the karma, and which karma? Kamya karma, karma based on material desire, and that they give up. And same point he has repeated here. He's telling that this all kinds of work based on fruitive activity, means based on material desire, should be given as a faulty, and this work is not given up. And same whatever he has said in verse 2, and he in different words he has said the same point. First we'll understand what Prabhupada's opinion. Somebody can read.
There are many activities in Vedic literature which are subject of contention. For instance, it is said that animal can be killed in a sacrifice. Yet some maintain that animal killing is completely abominable. Although animal killing is a sacrifice is recommended in the Vedic literature, the animal is not considered to be killed. The sacrifice is to give a new life to the animal. Sometimes the animal is given a new life after being killed in the sacrifice, and sometimes the animal is promoted immediately to the human form of life. But there are different opinions among the sages. Some say that animal killing should always be avoided, and others say that for a specific sacrifice it is good. All these different opinions on sacrificial activity are now being clarified by the Lord Himself.
So now Krishna has spoken. So Prabhupada is explaining that, and he is telling that there is instruction of Bhagavad Gita. And so he's quoting the previous verse only, and he's telling that activity for advance in spiritual knowledge. So, he's telling there are many activities in Vedic literatures that are subject of contention, and I means they disagree, and disagreement is there, and he's giving example. So why he's giving such kind of, because Krishna has mentioned the two different opinion here, and some say it should be given up completely, and some say it should not be given up. And so similarly he's explaining that disagreement might be there. And so he's giving an example that some say that animal can be killed in sacrifice, and some say that animal killing is completely abundant. And so that is the example where are the differences in the Vedic scriptures. So although, but in some scriptures it is recommended, some Vedic scriptures only, and in other it is not allowed, and animal killing is not allowed. But the sacrifice is to give a new life to the animal. Sometimes the animal is given a new life after being killed in the sacrifice, and sometimes the animal is promoted immediately to the human form of life. But there are different opinions among the sages. So killing the animals, and in the sacrifice also there are different opinions. And some sages, they tell that he should be killed to give him a new life because he's suffering. He has become an old animal. Then better to instead of better way and to avoid his suffering is to kill him in the sacrifice. Like this some say, and others says that we are killing him in the sacrifice so that he can be promoted, and when he's young And at that time, when they are telling that we are killing him because we want to promote him from this species, this animal species, to some higher animal species. So these kind of differences are there, and different opinions among sages are there, and in scriptures also different opinions are there. Some say that the animal killing should always avoided, and others say that for a specific sacrifice it is good. And so this is the third point Prabhupada is telling, third time he's telling. And all these different opinions on a sacrificial activity are now being clarified by the Lord himself. And so now Lord will try to resolve this contradiction. So there are different opinions. And first, Lord just has given the he has quoted the references from others. So what is Krishna's opinion? And he will explain from the verse 4 and what is Krishna's opinion. So according to essence of this verse, third purport of Srila Prabhupada is, there are differences between the scriptures, between the sages, and now Krishna will try to resolve these differences by giving his opinion, okay, in simple words. And then what Acharya is saying on the third purport is that so who are they person? And so Acharya has given the name of the category, and so these learned mans, and so Krishna has used the some learned man, but they are giving the names. And so these who say that activities should be given up, fruitive activities, and so acharyas, they are telling they are Sankhya philosophers and Sankhya people, and those who tells that maintain the acts of sacrifice, and so they are the Mimamsakas. Just names they have given and from the other Vedic literatures. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he has given these names and for these categories. And that is only the new point they have given up. Remaining. So now we'll hear Krishna's opinion. So now Krishna's opinion is Nishchayam Shrunu me tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyaghra trividhu samprakirtitah. Krishna is telling, O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment. And clearly Krishna has been. Now before he has given the judgment of others, and now he is giving his judgment. Regarding what? About renunciation. It's about sannyas. And O tiger among men, Purusha Vyagra. And renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. So now Krishna is telling there is three kinds of renunciation in the scriptures. And this is whose opinion? Krishna's opinion. Explicitly, my opinion, Krishna has mentioned. Somebody can read purport.
Although there are differences of opinion about renunciation, here the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, gives his judgment, which should be taken as final. After all, the Vedas are different laws given by the Lord. Here the Lord is personally present and his words should be taken as final. The Lord says that the process of renunciation should be considered on terms of the modes of material nature in which they are performed.
Thank you. So Krishna has mentioned just three. And so Prabhupada is now revealing and why Krishna has mentioned the word three. And so why there? Because of there are three modes of material nature. So that's why Krishna has used the word three. And Prabhupada is telling this process of renunciation. Krishna has mentioned just three kinds. And but this is based on the modes of material nature, Prabhupada is telling. And before that, Prabhupada is telling that Krishna's judgment and should be taken as final. So that will overrule the previous references and which Krishna, although Krishna has quoted, and but this opinion has the highest value. And so one may think that Krishna has quoted that references also, and so they are also valid points, and that's why Krishna is quoting them. And so such kind of thought may come in our mind, but to clarify that, Prabhupada is telling no, this Krishna's statement is the final statement. And so Vedas, and so they are also given by whom? Lord only. So they are non-different from the Lord and given by the Lord. And so Lord's one words are we have studied in Ishopnishad, and they are the Shruti and Lord's word, and they are the final. And so Prabhupada gives the example in Ishopnishad, and so how they are the final. And Prabhupada explained this with examples. And we should not ask questions on the opinion of the Lord or Vedic sentences and Vedic rules. And so what examples Prabhupada gives? Somebody remembers? In Ishopnishad, Prabhupada gives. We should accept the Vedic rules as it is, and we should not accept as it is as a final. We should not consider them in question on that. So he mentions
Smriti or something.
so
Cow dung.
Cow dung. So
Conch.
although in Vedas it is mentioned that stool of an animal is impure, but the same Vedas they mention that a stool of particularly cow and a cow dung is the pure, and it purifies from the contamination. And also the conch shell, and although is the bone of the animal, but still it is pure, and we worship Lord with these two things. So same points come here. And why Prabhupada told there that we should not ask question? Because these are the words of the Vedas, and we have to take it as final. So this is Krishna's opinion, word of the Vedas. So now Krishna is continuing, and so he has mentioned now renunciation is of three types. And see in Acharya's point. No? So in fourth purport, Acharyas, they are telling that they have also mentioned these three kinds are based on the three modes, which Prabhupada has already mentioned. And so Acharya, they are mentioning the word renunciation is there. So this is tyaga, they are telling. This is not sannyasa. Yeah? This is tyaga. We'll see, we'll go ahead, then it will be clear. Okay. We'll finish this section, then it will be more clear. So now Krishna is continuing his talk, and he is telling that yajna dana tapah karma na tyajam karya eva tat yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishina. So Krishna is giving the acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given. They must be performed. And this is Krishna's opinion. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great soul and a manishina. So, this will definitely purify the heart, and even the heart of great souls will be purified by the sacrifice. We can read.
The yogis should perform acts for the advancement of human society. There are many purificatory processes for advancing a human being to spiritual life. The marriage ceremony, for example, is considered to be one of these sacrifices. It is called Vivaha Yajna. Should a sannyasi who is in the renounced order of life and who has given up his family relations encourage ceremony, the Lord says that any sacrifice which is meant for human welfare should never be given up. Vivaha Yajna, the marriage ceremony, is meant to regulate the human mind so that it may become peaceful for spiritual advancement. For most men, this Vivaha Yajna should be encouraged even by persons in the renounced order of life. Sannyasis should never associate with women, but that does not mean that one who is in the lower stages of life, a young man, should not accept a wife in the marriage ceremony. All prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving the Supreme Lord. Therefore, in the lower stages, they should not be given up. Similarly, charity is for the purification of the heart. If charity is given to suitable persons, as described previously, it leads one to advancement. It leads one to advance spiritual life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, what Prabhupada is giving explanation. So, Prabhupada is mentioning here the yogis then advance and he was mentioning the yogis also should perform the acts, and which acts? Yajna, dana, and trapaha. So there are many acts for purification like this yajna, dana, tapaha. And after that we advance in our spiritual life by performing these kinds of acts. Our heart becomes purified, and so that's why we advance in the spiritual life. So Prabhupada here gives the example for yajna and dana, and tapa he doesn't give example. And for yajna, what he is giving? Vivaha yajna. And so, what is the purpose of Vivaha Yajna? And to regulate the human mind, and so that it will become peaceful and for spiritual and here it is mentioned. Vivaha Yajna is meant to regulate the human mind so that it may become peaceful for spiritual advancement. So this is the purpose of Vivaha Yajna. And so because on the lower stages, he gives the reason also and why this is the purpose. Because in lower stages, in lower consciousness, when the person is there, and he will not be peaceful. And so that's why the renowned person in renounced order of life, sannyasi, also encourage him and to practice this Vivaha Yajna. And this gives the example of Yajna. And then he gives the example of Dana. So Dana should be given to suitable person. And that is Dana in goodness. And we have studied this before, 17th chapter. There are three. Dana is also in three modes. And so Prabhupada is recommending here is Dana, charity in goodness. And so that Prabhupada is recommending. So this is Prabhupada's explanation on Krishna's opinion that why these three things should not be given up, because they purify even the great soul. Prabhupada is telling that it will purify the yogis also. And Acharya is there explaining that so Acharya is there telling that here Krishna is mentioning that the even manishis, and they should also perform this yajna dana and tapa. So what is the reason of this is because they also, and manishina also, Acharya is telling that they also take many births, and so because of that they also accumulate and many faults, because they also previously they have passed through many lives, and in these many lives they accumulates many faults, although in this life they are yogis or many great souls and manishis, but in previous life, and so they have done very they have accumulated the faults and from previous life, and so that's why they should perform the yajna dana and tapa. So that is the Acharya's opinion why they should perform the yajna dana and tapa. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, he has given one practical application here, and so Krishna has mentioned here and to act, and so although Krishna is mentioned here regarding sannyas and tyaga in that context, but Prabhuji has taken lesson here for our own life, and Prabhuji is telling like in bhakti also, in devotional service also, and so what happens, we have devotional service. Bhakti means what? There is emotion for the Lord, correct? And it is not only emotion for the Lord, but it is also we have to express that emotion. And Prabhuji is telling that if the mother, and a mother is telling the child, and I love you, my child, I love you, my child, and mother is not cooking for the child, and not feeding to the child, and so now she has emotion and she has love for the child, but she is not expressing that love. So he's telling that similarly, here Lord is telling, perform charity, perform sacrifice, perform penance. And so similarly, in bhakti also, we want to love the Lord, and that is our emotion. But with that, we have to express also this emotion. So like this, Prabhuji has taken lesson from that. Acharya has not told anything about it. Prabhuji's own practical point he has given. And so devotee focuses on prema puvarpa mahan. So everybody purifies by practicing yajna, dana, and tapa. So Krishna continues his talk, and he is speaking that. So what is the attitude while performing these activities? Yajna, dana, and tapa. He mentions in verse 6. So he tells, Etanyapi tu karmani sangam tyaktva falani cha kartavya कर्तव्यानिति मे पार्थ nishchitam matam uttamam. So what is the best uttam? He is telling. All these activities should be performed without attachment, and this is the consciousness attitude. And attachment should not be there, or any expectation from the results is not there. When person is doing yajna dana and tapo, and which he has mentioned previously, all these activities, which he has mentioned in the verse 5th, and this is 6th verse. So they should be performed as a matter of duty. And as a matter of duty means, so Krishna has mentioned this, and that's why I will do. So every human being should do this. Even Manishis and even the advanced devotee, not devotee, advanced people, Manishis, and for them also Krishna has recommended. And so I should also do. And so I am not so much advanced, and still I should do. So that consciousness is duty consciousness and matter of duty. So that is my final opinion. So Krishna is telling. So one should do these activities, yajna, dana, and tapo. Clear? Somebody can read the purport.
Although all sacrifices are purifying, one should not expect any result by such performances. In other words, all sacrifices are meant for material advancement in life, should be given up. But sacrifices that purifies one's existence and elevate one to the spiritual plane should not be stopped. Everything that leads to Krishna consciousness must be encouraged. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also it is said that any activity which leads to devotional service to the Lord should be accepted. That is the highest criteria of the religion. A devotee of the Lord should accept any kind of work, sacrifice, or charity which will help him in the discharge of the devotional service to the Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Prabhupada now is giving his opinion. He's telling that although all sacrifices are purifying, so all kinds of yajnas, they purify. But one should not expect any results from them. Expectation of results should not be there. Then he gives the what should be given up, that he tells. The sacrifice is meant for material advancement and for the material purpose, that should be given up. Then how we should perform the activity, same point the translation, and as the matter of duty we should perform the sacrifices. And which kind of sacrifices we should do? And for purification, whatever sacrifices are there, and to purify one's existence and elevate to the higher planets, spiritual planets, and that should not be given up. That we should perform. And whatever is helping in Krishna consciousness, that should be encouraged. So that's why whatever work is helping us in our devotional service, we should accept that work. Whatever sacrifices, whatever charity, and is helping, and only criteria Prabhupada is telling, we have to ask the question, and is it helping me in my devotional service or not? So based on that, we should decide and which kind of charity, sacrifice, or work we should do. So same question, same point, our devotees, they tell. And so when our devotees, they preach somebody in college, and so he becomes devotee, and so then that person after sometimes asks, and which ashram should I enter? And so our senior devotees, they also told the same point. And so whatever will help you in discharge of devotional service to the Lord, and so that ashram you should choose. And so this is the criteria for devotees Prabhupada is mentioning. whatever is helping in Krishna consciousness. And this is one practical point from this. And Acharya, they have told something that so Acharya, they are mentioning what is the um, platform of duty, and Krishna has mentioned perform the sacrifice dutifully. And so this Acharyas, they're explaining, they're telling that giving up the misconception of being the doer. And so when we are doing the sacrifice, at that time we are thinking, I am not the doer. And so this discussion will come ahead in this chapter only, but just will understand the Acharya's point that they are telling I am not the doer, and also giving up the quest for results. And I am not the doer, and I am not the enjoyer of the results. Also, quest for the results means hankering for the results or seeking some results from that activity, and that also should be given up. And so if we give these both the things, and what we should do, we should do the sacrifice, and it's called the tyaga and sannyasa. So acharyas are telling this is only, this tyaga and sannyasa is the same only. And so like this Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has told. And Baldev Vidyabhushan, what he is telling that this platform of duty means one should do the actions only with the thought that they are worship of the Lord. With this thinking, and so whatever sacrifices, action, activities are doing, so they are only for the worship of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. And this is the highest conclusion, Uttama. My final opinion, Krishna is telling. And so this is Krishna's final opinion, Uttama Mat, and a final opinion. And Nishchitam, this is fixed, Nishchit, definite from the point of Krishna. And so this is the opinion of Baldev Vidyabhushan. Okay. So now we have completed 6 verses. So we'll just take 10 minutes break. We'll meet at 6:51. So we have completed 6 verses. And so what was Arjuna's question? Somebody can tell. What question Arjuna has asked?
What is renunciation, and what is renounce order of life, and what is its purpose?
Correct. So in Sanskrit, it is called as tyaga, and a purpose of renunciation. And renounced order of life is sannyasa. Tyaga and sannyasa. So are they same or different? So what Krishna has told that giving up the fruitive activities and for our sense gratification, that is sannyas, and not giving up the daily duties and which are meant for our purification of heart. And so that should not be given. Yajna, dana, and tapa, that should not be given up. But activity for sense gratification should be given up. That is sannyas, and that is same tyaga. And so these two things are same only. And giving up the fruits of activity, and which activity? Which he is doing, activity for purification, and fruits of that activity to absolute supreme person or Krishna. If he is devotee, then he will give to Krishna. If they are not devotee, then they will give to some absolute. somebody supreme, and to them they will give. But so in one sense, these two terms are same only, and tyaga and sannyas. And there are three types of these terms, and this Krishna has told, but he has not told which three types. Our acharyas and Prabhupada, they have told. They are based on the three modes, and they know the future. So that's why before only they have told. But Krishna has not told. And so now Krishna is telling. And so three types of renunciation, and in three modes. So he begins from the verse 7. And what is telling? Niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasah parikirtitah. So he's beginning from the mode of ignorance. He's telling prescribed duty should never be renounced. Yajna dana tapa should never be given up. Prescribed duty should never be given up. If one gives up prescribed duties because of illusion and because of moha, then such giving of prescribed duties is said to be in the mode of ignorance. That is renunciation in mode of ignorance. Clear translation? And so why one should not give up prescribed duties? What is the benefit of performing prescribed duties, which Krishna has mentioned previously? Somebody is remembering?
Purification of heart.
Purification of heart. Thank you. So that is the purpose. And so that's why it should not be given up. And so such kind of activities, and who has done, and a recent example, who has given up such a prescribed duty? Recent example, in Prabhupada times, hippies. So hippies people, they have given all type of prescribed duties, and they are just lying besides the road and completely in intoxicated stage. So they have given up all kind of work and just intoxicating and lying in an unconscious level and passing stool and urine on the same place only. So they are the renunciation in mode of ignorance. And they have did the sarva dharman parityajya. But mamekam sharanam vraja, that they have not done, hippies. Half part only they have given up all kinds of activity. Their renunciation is in the mode of ignorance. Okay. Purport is there. Somebody can read.
Work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord, and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness.
So what is the meaning of prescribed duty? So that Prabhupada is telling that cooking, anything doing for the Lord, and cooking for the Lord and worshipping the Lord, that is the prescribed duty. So that should not be given up. And a performance of yajna and dana tapa. So vivaha yajna, encouraging vivaha yajna for others, and that should not be given up. And that is one thing. Prescribed duty should not be given up. And doing things for our pleasure and not for the pleasure of Lord, means that is based on our desire, kamya karma. And previously it is mentioned kamya karma. So activities based on our kamya, our desire, personal desire, that should be given up. First he is mentioning that activities for material sacrifice must be given up. Yeah. But prescribed activities for spiritual activity should not be given up. Yeah. That is the Prabhupada's opinion. Acharyas also, they have not added many things. Yeah. It is quite clear. And so which type of renunciation is in the mode of ignorance. Now, renunciation in passion. Dukkham iti eva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sakrutva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. What Krishna is mentioning here is that anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome. And so person in the mode of passion, what he's doing, prescribed duty, he's giving up. Why he's giving up? Because it is troublesome. Reason of giving is it is troublesome for him to perform, or out of fear of bodily discomfort. He doesn't want to do tapasya. He wants comfort. And that's why he is giving up. This is another reason. For these two reasons, either of the two reasons, he gives up prescribed duty. And that renunciation is called renunciation in the mode of passion. And such activities never leads to elevation of renunciation. And such kind of renunciation will not help in advancement in spiritual life. And it will not help in purification of heart. And this ignorance and passion, such kind of renunciation. The purpose will not be served, purification of heart. Somebody can read.
One who is in
Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he is performing fruitive activities. If by working one can engage his money in Krishna consciousness, or if by rising early in the morning one can advance his transcendental Krishna consciousness, one should not desist out of fear or because such activities are considered troublesome. Such renunciation is in the mode of passion. The result of passionate work is always miserable. If a person renounces work in that spirit, he never gets the result of renunciation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, Prabhupada has mentioned here that giving a prescribed duty, so because it is troublesome and that should not be done. And so, one who is a devotee, and Prabhupada is mentioning for devotees, and Krishna is speaking for in general, and that's why here confusion may come. And so here Prabhupada is writing, and Prabhupada is clearly mentioning this for devotee. And for devotee, Prabhupada is mentioning that earning money, and because earning money is very difficult, and so one has to work 9 hours and for 5 days in a week, and that is minimum, and very troubles. And they will, boss will give more work, and this happens sometimes. Boss will ask for overtime, and he will give more work. So earning money is very difficult. So person gives up the work for performing fruitive activities, and fear of bodily discomfort because of earning works. Uh, so that kind of renunciation is in mode of passion, and because he is devotee, naturally he will use money in where? In Krishna consciousness. Or sometimes if he is not earning man, and then what kind of difficulty he will face is like rising early in the morning. It's very difficult, and every day rising early in the morning and attending the same morning program and a very boring activity, the same arti, everything and a same. But one may give up these kind of things, and so because of trouble and to the mind. For mind, it will be very difficult for same thing, same attain same thing. So one should not desist out of fear, and one should not give up out of fear or because of trouble. And otherwise, such kind of renunciation is in the mode of passion. And like we have seen before also, quality of passion is it always leads to misery, dukkham, klesham, and these kind of things only work in passion will lead. And person in this stage will think that there is enough happiness in this world, and he doesn't try to elevate himself to spiritual world, and so that will be his consciousness in mode of passion. Yes, Proj, what is your question?
Prabhuji, here it is mentioned the reasons for why they're giving up prescribed duty when it is mode of passion is troublesome or fear of bodily discomfort. But for ignorance, it was just mentioned that they give up prescribed duty, which is same as this, but the reason was not given. So what would be the reason there in case of ignorance for giving up prescribed?
Without any reason only they give up, and so they don't think only and what is happening, they just give up and without any purpose only. Purpose is not there, so it is not mentioned. Clear, bro? Without any purpose they give, they don't think anything. Okay. Now Acharya's point, we'll see something is there. Same point पे होता है. Okay, we'll go ahead with the renunciation in mode of goodness. Karyam iti eva yat tat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko matah. Now satvik tyag, satvik renunciation. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it is ought to be done, and this has to be done, and this is my duty. In anything, I have to do this, and renounces all material association and attachment to the fruit. And he will do that activity as a duty, and when the fruit will come of that activity, and then he will not renounces all material association, means he will not use that fruit for his enjoyment and for his own enjoyment, and he will give the attachment to the fruit also. And that kind of renunciation, and means he will give attachment and he will not use also, and he will give to the absolute, and because he is not devotee. Krishna is not talking about devotee, and in general sense he is talking and something higher. Absolute means something higher. So in one word, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu very nicely summarized and what is the renunciation in goodness. And Prabhuji tells that renunciation and renunciation in action, and renunciation in action, not renunciation and a renunciation of action. Yeah. So means he is not renouncing the activity, and but what he is renouncing here, action is there, and here it is renunciation. So he is not renouncing the activity, but what he is renouncing? The fruits of activity. And renunciation means he is not attached to the fruits, and he is offering fruits to something absolute. Clear? So this is the renunciation in mode of goodness. Clear? Somebody can read purport.
Prescribed duties must be performed. With this mentality, one should act without attachment for the result. He should be disassociated from the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna, and when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So now everything Prabhupada connects with the devotee. And that's why sometimes the devotees, they tell Prabhupada is that he is impatient in giving Krishna consciousness to others. And like this also some senior devotees, they tell that he is very eager. Impatient means he is very eager and to give Krishna consciousness. And although Krishna is not talking, but Krishna, Prabhupada is always talking about Krishna consciousness, devotees, and a man in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada is connecting this with Krishna. Before this, this is Krishna's opinion, that prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. Which mentality? Of without attachment for the results and disassociated from the modes of work. And not doing for our own enjoyment. And now about devotee, what Prabhupada is telling. When he's working in any factory, company, he is not attached to the work of that factory and workers of the factory. He simply works for whom? Any factory, which helps him in practicing devotional service and which gives him salary, and so that he can practice. He is not attached to particular factory and the brand of factory, and he is not attached to the people and around him in that factory. And but what is his focus? His focus on the salary, so that he can his purpose simply works, and when he gives up the results for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. And when he gives that results Krishna, some part of his salary, he is acting transcendentally for Krishna. And this is about devotee, which Prabhupada is telling. So whatever is there, pleasure, sometimes pleasure may be there, sometimes pain may be there, and sometimes there may be good days, sometimes there may be difficult days. And but this person in the mode of goodness, what he will do? He will give up that work or not? What he will do? Person in goodness?
Not give up.
Yeah, he will not give up. He will continue till the end, till the results come. So now Krishna has described the three types of renouncer and based on the modes. And so now Krishna tells that who is the intelligent renouncer, and that he tells in the next verse in continuing the same theme of renunciation. And he tells, Na dveshti akushalam karma kushale nanu sajjate tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna samshayah. And he's telling the intelligent renouncer and situated in the mode of goodness, and he's elaborating the person in the goodness. He is the intelligent, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious, and has no doubts about work. So what is the meaning? We'll understand. And neither hateful of inauspicious work, and it is mentioned before by Krishna, and that inauspicious works should be given up. And correct, no? Because what is the meaning of inauspicious work? The work which is meant for his own pleasure, and that is inauspicious. That kind of work should be given. And auspicious means is attached, meant to good work, means prescribed duty is the auspicious work, and that should be done. And this Krishna has told before, that is work in goodness, but now he's now elaborating. And so this intelligent renouncer in goodness only, but he is not hateful to this, and he's not liking, he's not attached to this also. Then why he's working? He's just working as a matter of duty. He is neither attached to this nor hateful of this. That person is intelligent renouncer. And such intelligent renouncer has no doubt about work, and which no doubt about work means which work should be given up and which work should not be given up. And that confusion, that doubt is not there in him. And that's why he's fixed in sattva guna. And so that's why achalam, and word used is achalam. And so that's why Krishna has not used it. Acharyas, they have used the word achalam, and he's fixed. So he doesn't have any doubt, samshay. Clear? What Prabhupada is telling, somebody can read.
A person in Krishna consciousness or in the mode of goodness does not hate anyone or anything which troubles his body. He does work in the proper place and at the proper time without fearing the troublesome effect of his duty. Such a person situated in transcendence should be understood to be the most intelligent and beyond all doubts in his activities. Hare Krishna.
Simple, just translation Prabhupada has repeated. And Prabhupada is adding here that without fearing troublesome, means against the passionate renouncer. Prabhupada is telling he will not renounce the work like passionate renouncer renounces. Clear? So Acharyas, they have mentioned the same point. And so somebody may have question, and although Krishna has mentioned that prescribed duties never be renounced, and so somebody may have still question that better to renounce all auspicious and inauspicious and renounce both the work. And for them, Krishna is telling next verse, and no, it should not be done. And what Krishna is telling, we'll see. Nahi deha bhruta sakyam, shakyam. Nahi deha bhruta shakyam tyaktum karmani sheshatah yastu karma phala tyagi satyagitya abhidhiyate. He's telling, it is indeed impossible for an embodied man to give up all activities. And so we cannot give up all activities. Cannot give. And even though we want to give up, and we cannot give up all activities. Same point he has told before also, and in 3rd chapter. So he is told that soul, he cannot be inactive for a second, and like this he has mentioned before in 3rd chapter. But he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. And so we cannot give up work, and if we want to be alive in this material world, we cannot be alive here without performing work. And some kind of work we have to do. So that's why better and that renounce the activities of work, and instead of renouncing the work. Here, so Krishna is not giving any room for doubts, and so that we should perform work. And so why is Krishna focusing on the work here? Because, as I have said, this chapter is the conclusion of entire Bhagavad Gita, and the first 12 verses in this chapter and is the summary of where Karma Yoga section. And so all of you have studied the Karma Yoga section. So where is the Karma Yoga section?
Chapter 3 and 5.
Particularly, but in broad sense,
First 6.
First 6 chapters. Correct. Thank you. So in first 6 chapters summary, Krishna is giving in first 12 verses. Clear? So that's why he's there. Also, he mentions that work, and you cannot give. So similarly, same point Krishna is mentioning here. And somebody can read the purport.
It is said in the Bhagavad Gita that one can never give up work at any time. Therefore, he who works for Krishna and does not enjoy the fruitive result, who offers everything to Krishna, is actually a renouncer. There are many members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their office or in the factory or some other place, and whatever they earn, they give it to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. It is clearly outlined here how to renounce the fruits of work and for what purpose fruits should be renounced.
Thank you. So, we cannot give up work, and therefore we should work and give some fruits of our work to Krishna. And for devotees, he is telling for Krishna. But for others in general, they will give fruits to some higher cause, some absolute, some supreme. they don't know who is God. And Prabhupada, everything he connects to Krishna consciousness. But after that, he's telling that such souls are sannyasis. And it is clearly outlined here that how to renounce the fruits of work and how to renounce by offering them to absolute. And what purpose fruit should we renounce for? Purification of heart as a matter of duty, and they should be renounced in goodness. Clear? So now so after working, and some reaction may come. And so what about that reaction? And Krishna mentions in verse number 12. And he mentions Anishtam Mishtam Mishram Cha Trividham Karmanah Phalam Bhavati Tyaginam Pretya Natu Sanyasinam Kvachit. And what is telling? That for one who is not renounced the threefold fruits of action, and means this person is not a tyagi or sannyasi. And he is not a tyagi also, and he is not a sannyasi. Actually, both these things are same only, and I have explained how they are same. And then, for such kind of person, not tyagi and sannyasi, for such kind of person, there are three results, three reactions. Which are they? First is desirable, second is undesirable, and third is mix. After death, such kind of person will get these three sides. But one who is tyagi or sannyasi, for him, what is the reaction? Have no such results to suffer or enjoy. And for him, karma will not be there. And karma is not there. Clearly, Krishna is telling. For whom? Tyagi or sannyasi. But for whom, what is there? Papa is there. Sorry, punya is there. And then papa is there. And mixture of papa and punya is there. And for whom? Who is not tyagi or sannyasi. Sorry. Read the purport. What Prabhupada is telling.
Person in Krishna consciousness acting in knowledge of his relationship with Krishna is always liberated. Therefore, he does not have to enjoy or suffer the results of his acts after death.
Now Prabhupada is connecting to devotees. And for devotees, there is no karma. And that's why after death, and devotees neither suffer and nor so they will go to Krishna's kingdom or enjoy after death. So Prabhupada is mentioned, but about devotees. But Krishna is mentioning about in general between tyagis and those who are not tyagis, or those sannyasis and those who are not sannyasis. Okay? So now here the our Karma Yoga, summary of Karma Yoga section gets over. So now Krishna starts the summary of Jnana Yoga section from the verse number 13. And so where is the Jnana Yoga section? Is the Jnana Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, for which Krishna is giving summary.
Hare Krishna,
Section?
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Tell me, Puji.
Jnana Yoga is there in last six chapters, na Prabhuji?
Yes. Thank you. So
Thank
now
you.
Krishna is giving summary for these chapters. And in verse number 13 to 17. And 13 to 17, he's giving a summary of whatever we have studied. And chapter number is also 13 to 17. And verse number is also 13 to 17. Actually, chapter number is 13 to 18. But 18 is summary and of all Bhagavad Gita. And so, but chapter till 17 only, Jnana is there. And so both are same only, verse and chapter number. Okay. So we'll see how Krishna is summarizing. Recently only we have studied this. Krishna began with Panchetani Mahabaho Karanani Nivodhame Sankhye Krutante Proktani Siddhe Sarva Karmana. Telling, O mighty Arjuna Mahabaho, according to Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. He is telling that 5 causes are there and for performing any action. And so sorry, actually there is confusion from. So I understood it wrongly. This is not the summary of Jnana Yoga, but Jnana and Jnana and not Jnana Yoga. Sorry. This is not the summary of chapter 13 to 16, but Jnana which he has spoken in the previously in chapter 4. And so there he has mentioned this Jnana, which is hidden in the karma. And that's why he tells that perform the Nishkama Karma Yoga. And then you will get knowledge. So such kind of verses are there in the first 6 chapters only. And this is not the summary of Jnana Yoga section, but summary of Jnana section. And so that I told wrongly. I'm correcting my mistake. This is the summary of Jnana section and not Jnana Yoga. That's why these kind of verses are coming. And O mighty Arjuna, according to Vedanta, there are 5 causes for accomplishment of all action. And learn of these from me. And so whatever knowledge we have till now is what is there. Who is the doer? And who is the doer of activity? What we know that there is a Jiva, there is Prakriti, and there is a Lord. And we know that Jiva desires, and then Lord sanctions, and Prakriti accomplish. This much all of you know, and whatever we have studied from Bhagavad Gita. Clear? Now Krishna is now here increasing our knowledge, and he's telling that there are 5 causes for accomplishment of all actions. And there are 5 reasons. And for what? 5 reasons for what? Result. And any kind of result which we get in action. There are 5 reasons for that result. And learn of these from me. Means he will tell in next verse. Now he is going to teach Arjuna what are the 5 reasons for result. Clear? Translation, any confusion is there? Something wrong I have spoken, that I have corrected. Now clear? Okay. Somebody can read purport.
Question may be raised that since any activity performed must have some reaction, how it is that the person in Krishna consciousness does not suffer or enjoy the reaction of work? The Lord is citing Vedanta philosophy to show how this is possible. He says that there are 5 causes for all activities, and for success in all activities, one should consider these 5 causes. Sankhya means the stock of knowledge, and Vedanta is the final stock of knowledge accepted by all leading acharyas. Even Sanskara accepts Vedanta Sutra. Shankara accepts Vedanta Sutra as such. Therefore, such authorities should be consulted. The ultimate control is invested in the super soul, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham hridi snavista. He is engaging everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his past actions, and Krishna consciousness acts done under his direction from within yield no reaction, either in this life or in the life after death. Hare Krishna.
What Prabhupada is mentioning here, that one may ask question, and that any activity performed must have some reaction, and which Krishna has told that there is no reaction for whom? Tyagi and sannyasi. And so that Tyagi and sannyasi, Prabhupada has replaced that with devotee, and he's telling that how devotee doesn't have any reaction. And so now Lord is telling, and why the person is not getting the reaction. Why he is not getting the reaction? Because he is not the only reason. And why? How Krishna has answered this question, which Prabhupada has raised? Krishna has told there are 5 reasons for the result. He is not the only reason for the result. Who? Tyagi and sannyasi. Or that's why there are 4 other reasons also. Total there are 5 reasons. And so that's why he is not the only doer. And so there are other doers also. And so doer will definitely get the reaction. But in case of Tyagi and sannyasi, although he is one of the doer, and he is not the only doer. And here attentively, Tyagi and sannyasi, they are the one of the doer out of 5. And they are not the only doer. That's why the reaction is distributed among all the 5 doers, and they will not get the reaction, but other 4 will get. And so that's why after now Krishna, this is called jnana. Jnana means analysis. And so now Krishna is giving analysis how karma yoga works. And so that's why this is the jnana yoga section. And so this he has given in 4th chapter, 5th chapter, and of Bhagavad Gita. So that clear what Prabhupada is telling here in the purport and how it is connected here in this section, Prabhupada's purport. So he says that there are 5 causes, and I know that we have studied. And this is mentioned, this knowledge Krishna is telling, he is mentioning Vedanta, and Krishna himself has told. Vedanta Sutra. So what is Vedanta Sutra, all of you know? And somebody can tell what is Vedanta Sutra. Nobody knows? Vedanta Sutra is what? And there are Vedas. In Ishopanishad, all of you have studied, you might have forgotten. And Vedas are there, 4 Vedas. Actually, beginning there was only 1 Veda. So Vyasadeva have divided 1 into 4. And so understanding this Vedas is very difficult. And so Vyasadeva has a written commentary on the Vedas in Vedanta Sutra. And Vedanta Sutra, and it has only 555 sutras. Okay. So Vedas are very big, lakhs of verses are there. But in Vedanta Sutra, essence of the four Vedas is there. And that is the Vedanta Sutra. And understanding this Vedanta Sutra is very difficult. And so that's why Vasudev has written commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And so that commentary is known as Srimad Bhagavatam. The story format. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many stories. So Vasudev has 550 sutras. He has written in 1800 verses. 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. Clear? What Vedanta Sutra lies. It is mentioned in Vedanta Sutra. Krishna is telling. And Shankara is also has the same opinion. Prabhupada is telling. And so ultimate control and ultimate doer is the super soul. And so out of the five, Prabhupada, Krishna has not told the five, but one of them is super soul. He has ultimate control. He is the ultimate doer, Prabhupada is telling. Sarvasya cha aham radhi nivishto. He stays in the heart of all living entities. And Krishna consciousness. Now, here Prabhupada is mixing Krishna consciousness, acts done under the direction of, from within, from under the direction of Krishna and within, either in this life or in the life after death. There is no reaction in them for Krishna consciousness. For bhakti, there is no reaction. So we'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow from 14th verse, 13th verse.